Hello, my name is Thomas. I'm representing investmentexcel.com in this presentation on how to calculate the correlation coefficient between two assets and also how to calculate the correlation matrix of several assets. And we will use stocks from the US market as example of calculating the correlation. This video and the Excel worksheet is available on investmentexcel.com and spotify.com. Let's just look at two time series of returns in the US market, and we will take a 25-day series of returns, daily returns on Microsoft and the index S&P, and we see the Microsoft share level first and then the level of the S&P in index points, and this obviously is in dollars. And here we calculate every day the period, the day-to-day return, and likewise on the S&P. Calculating the correlation in Excel we could do readily by using the correl function, which just takes as input the two time series, and it doesn't really matter if we take the one or the other on the left and or the right hand side. It gives the same result. I'll just show it through an estimation of a linear regression because there is a potentially good intuition and implication from that linear regression. So a linear regression, we know, is a model, a true model, which can be estimated with two parameters, beta and alpha. Normally we call alpha and beta in the textbooks, but it could be set and w, doesn't really matter. Those are parameters and those are estimated. In the case of beta, the parameter in front of, in this case, S&P, the exogenous variable, and we use the slope function and gets 1.96, and alpha is 0.28, 28 basis points. So here beta tells us that every time the S&P moves 1% on a daily basis, one way or another, it could be on a yearly basis as well, the Microsoft stock moves with a factor of 2 almost, in a positive way. Okay, the correlation now, as I said, can be calculated with the correl function, but what we could have done was to calculate the R-square of the model and then take the square root. And I could calculate in here manually the R-squared, but that will take a few minutes. So what I will do instead is just to use a regression functionality inbuilt and calculate and use the R-squared from there. So let's find the regression. It's here. Input the Y, Microsoft input X, which is the S&P, and we will put the results in a new sheet. R-square, and we are just looking for the R-square here because we only have one exogenous variable, the S&P. So let's just try to square root this variable and see if indeed the regression is linked to the way that R square is calculated. See if this gives us the 0.2517. I will just put it in here to double check. Okay, it must be with a value formatting. Okay, so we see here hopefully 0.25173, and this is also what we have here. So this is the way to calculate correlation when you have one endogenous and just one exogenous variable. Let's look at how to calculate the correlation when we have several stocks. And I just chose Microsoft, Google, Netflix, Apple and Amazon. And to keep it simple, just for 5 days with daily returns on each of them. Unfortunately, there is no nice and convenient function where you can just type in multi-regression and then it turns out. You can do many things with matrices, but you need to start building the first matrix, raw matrix, from the original return matrix, either on correlation or on covariance. Here I have two options. Either I can again go to some of the inbuilt functions, and we have one with the correlation, and this is an easy input. Just have to mark all 5 stocks on 5 days, and it should give us the correlation matrix over here, and I will just put it in here again with the value format. Okay, so just go down here and so there we have. Remember, an asset's correlation with itself is always 1. It always moves in the same tandem as itself, obviously. And also when we talk about correlation matrix, we normally just focus on one side of the symmetry around 1 as the diagonal, because all symmetrical positions here, they have the same value as down here. So the value here between Google and Microsoft is the same here as here between Microsoft and Google. That was the easiest way to do it. Another way is simply to use the Corel function, and here I just type the Microsoft, and then I have to calculate it all the way. So, and for Google Corel, it's manual work, but it can be good for understanding. So just not to get any confusion, correlations are always between -1 and +1, both included. And we have Netflix with, always remember to fix the one that we would like to calculate from. So, and then of course there was a problem. Apple with Microsoft. I'll just do like this, and the Amazon with Microsoft, and So, and then we just need to see what was going on up here in this one, because we need a fixing of the F. So here we go. And this is just turned upside down, but it's the same as we have down here. So let's just take the Microsoft line. It's like this. I can perhaps transpose it. There we go. And you see the first line is equal to this. And the second line, again, remember that Excel automatically takes away the symmetrical counterparts, so it only leaves us this line to focus at. It's this one. So it's the same. And we see here that there is some sort of perfect correlation between Google and Netflix. I'll just try to change that. That was what happened in the way I created the data, so I'll just change the perfect correlation. Okay, it doesn't really matter to go the other way. So that's the way to do it. Yeah, that's the way to calculate correlations. Thank you.